32F and 29M, was this cheating? Together for 5 years, married for 2. 32F just found out my spouse 29M went on Omegle and showed themselves pleasuring themselves and didn't tell me until they got caught and someone tried to blackmail them. I feel like it's cheating, but if I'm overreacting. I just need someone to talk to about it cause I'm embarrassed by it and can't tell anyone. They also lied at first and said someone had hacked their phone. Then when I questioned further, they admitted to being on there doing this. Not that it was something someone stole from their phone. Would this be considered cheating? I'm really confused, ATM. Yeah, that's cheating. He exposed himself to others sexually, lied when caught, only admitted it under pressure. You're not overreacting. If you feel like a boundary was crossed, then a boundary was crossed. Cheating and also very weird. Yes, this is cheating. Also weird. I'd get a good lawyer and file. Leave what the fuck loudly crying face. The best advice I've seen on here is this. If you think it's cheating, then it's cheating. It doesn't matter where our boundaries lie, it's yours. Did they break them? If so, then yes, they cheated. 42M37F, is she lying to me? A woman I've been talking to exclusive for close to a year, who I believe could be the love of my life for so many reasons, uses Venmo for payment at musical festivals. This happened back in October. A random man from out of state approaches her, send payment through Venmo for goods and flirts with her, and tell her she wants to take her on a date. According to her, she ignores him and thinks nothing of it. No other personal information is exchanged. Weeks later, she tells me this person was able to get her personal cell phone number and her address. She seems very surprised about the whole situation, but something seems off to me. It doesn't say much about privacy if Venmo is able to release that kind of personal information. She even goes as far as Googling and asking her friend about it, and the friend says it is possible. So I accept her story and move on. Not before hearing this man texted her saying once again, I'm coming back to your city to take you out. According to her, she doesn't respond. Although common sense would tell you to block a random person who has now become a stalker. We have a whole argument about it. She dismisses my concern, and we move on. Weeks later, she receives flowers delivered with a card once again, saying he's going to take her out. She keeps insisting she has no control over what he's doing, but then again she's not doing anything to stop it. Once again she goes silent and dismissive. We look past it, believing she only has eyes for me, as per her daily and fervently claims of love for me. I know she's flattered by the float. We move on. A month and a half goes by. On January 2nd, this man shows up at her front door, and she lets him in the house. She casually texts me about him being in her kitchen. She felt bad he made such a long flight to not let him in. Come on. I'm at work. At this point I'm livid to the point that I don't want to speak to her. I've trusting her version all along. I just told her we needed to talk after this person was gone. She did not have any urgency to make feel at ease about anything. No sense of urgency to address what had happened. I finally spoke with her last night about it. We argued. I asked her to be honest for once, and to tell me for once and for all about how he got her address and phone number. She's sticking to the Venmo story. The story continues, and more details that came to light about their interaction, but my question is about the veracity of her claim. Please, I just need to know, can this random man get her personal information, though a Venmo purchase? This is catalyst of everything. Do you see something else I'm not seeing? She went out with her kids and him, and she paid for herself. When he went to get a hug, according to her, she only gave him a handshake. I'm dying here, and I don't think she sees this. She tells me I'm the most perfect person for her. Mirror images. We do share a lot in common, more than any other woman I've ever talked to. Any advice or thoughts would be appreciated. Thank you. Update. She is now pushing to meet in person more than ever to talk about everything. I see no point in pursuing this anymore. There's so many holes in her story, and I feel like I can't trust her. I acknowledge I was part of the problem for not meeting her sooner, but now I feel like I'm being used. Opie, you're 42. Talking exclusively for a year when you never met while living an hour apart. She took a, allegedly, stranger to meet her children. Gave him a handshake. This is some brain rot teenage bullshit. Wake the fuck up. Respectfully. You're an idiot. That's all very weird. I was going to preface this with how I'm old and don't understand modern dating lingo, but you're older than me. What does talking to exclusive mean? Is she your GF? If someone I had a brief interaction with started texting me telling me they're coming to my city, sends me things to my personal address, then books a flight, and shows up at my door, I'm calling the police. Not letting him in my house, and going on a date with him and my kids. She's either entertaining him or has zero self-preservation instincts for herself or her children. She went out with this guy and took her kids. Even if you believe her story, it shows horrible judgment. And you say, I've been talking to Exclusive. Have you even met this woman? It sounds to me like this woman is playing guys. Why in the world are you having a long-distance relationship on the phone for over a year? You haven't even met her in person. In the flesh. Has it crossed your mind that she could be scamming you? And before you tell us, oh, she's not asking me for money. Scamming takes place without ripping off the victim. If you had a real in-person relationship with this woman, your anxiety levels wouldn't be off the chart like it is now. Since she is so far away, you have no control in how this relationship functions. Best advice anyone is going to tell you is you stop with nonsensical faraway relationships and find someone in close vicinity to you. What do you mean you have been talking to for close to a year? Is this a LTR? Have you gone on a date? I, 24 male, need some advice on this situation with my girlfriend, 24 female. First off, sorry to everyone as this is my first post and headspace is everywhere. I wanted to get some feedback on a couple situations as everything is tied together. Been dating for over 3 years, going into 4th, and things have been really good up until a recent incident. She started working as a manager at a fitness gym since 6 months ago and has a co-worker, 28 male, that she recently gotten closer with. I know about him, but nothing more than that. Nothing crazy, but during Christmas, while I was at her house, I noticed that she had a couple gifts in her room that I didn't know of that were on display. I asked her about one, and she told me it was from said co-worker. Usually this wouldn't be a big deal, as the gift was not expensive, but something bothered me with it, as the gift is something not many people know about her, and it's something very thoughtful. I later found out that she has received multiple gifts from said co-worker without telling me. When I confronted her about it saying I wasn't comfortable with the relationship, she understood and said she would keep her distance. To get to that point, it was very hard, and during this time, another issue was that she went bowling with said co-worker, and a family from her work without telling me the co-worker was there. I have a bad history of being insecure, as my first girlfriend emotionally cheated on me when she had a previous male friend, and I was told to not worry about him, and that I was being insecure. After that incident, I have been, I guess, traumatized by this, and she is aware. As mentioned above, we fixed it as I confronted her about all these things and communicated I wasn't comfortable. She voiced that I was emotionally not able to make her safe, which is true as I am not very emotionally intelligent, but I am working on it, and told her I am trying to change the way I think, so I think before speaking. Now it goes to today. We were great until yesterday. She just got her period and they are really bad, cramps, headache, etc. And I just finished work. Long story short, she told me his co-worker got her another gift. Also another thing sentimental that no one really know about her, and asked what she should do. I told her thank you for letting me know, and to do whatever she wanted. I think in that moment I disconnected a bit, and she felt that. She wanted to feel support, but I talked back without thinking, saying I needed reassurance. She lashed out at me saying that she knew it wasn't possible for me to change, that I can't provide empathy, and to not speak to her. I apologized immediately, saying I shouldn't have said that, and for us to talk it out. She ended our call, and hasn't spoken to me since. I have texted her morning, but no response. I know for sure she's ignoring me as we have each other's location, and she went to work. Once again, sorry as there's probably a lot of info missing from this, and I'll be happy to answer all of that, but my questions are this. Is it normal for co-workers to give gifts that's sentimental to other co-workers? I keep thinking that they would have had to talk pretty long, and my girlfriend would have had to tell him a lot about herself in order for him to get these gifts, as they are very thoughtful things she likes. / is it normal for me to be insecure about this? How did I handle communicating this to her? Thank you if you've read this far. Multiple thoughtful, personal gifts plus hiding it plus blowing up when you ask for reassurance isn't normal coworker behavior. Your insecurity isn't the problem here. Her boundaries are. Periods, stress, and you're not empathetic enough. Don't excuse dismissing your concerns or stonewalling. Something's off and you're not wrong to clock it. Your girlfriend is having, at very least, an emotional affair if not a physical one. If he was just a friend she got close to not long ago, there would be no reason for her to lie and omit about their interactions, and he wouldn't know all these personal details about what she likes and wouldn't be gifting her that much. You're being played. Just ask her about what gifts he's been constantly giving to their other co-workers, mainly the male ones, and see her facade of innocence crumble. Is it normal for a male co-worker to give a female co-worker, who has a boyfriend, sentimental gifts? No. Is it normal for you to feel insecure about this? Yes. She having an emotional affair at minimum. You've communicated clearly, and often that you don't like her cheating on you with this guy. You really shouldn't have to tell your partner, let alone one of 3 years, that. She knows what he wants because in his actions and words he's literally told her. She knows that she's been keeping this inappropriate relationship going. Not cutting him off, accepting his tokens of affection, going out on dates with him, and lying by omission at least to you. She knows that you know all this, but simply doesn't care. You're not insecure, you just have a cheating GF, emotionally at the least. Yeah, coworkers give gifts sometimes. That part alone isn't weird. What makes this feel off is the pattern, multiple thoughtful, personal gifts, hanging out, and not being fully upfront about it. Most people would feel uneasy there. Your insecurity isn't random. It's coming from blurry boundaries and past hurt, not nowhere. That doesn't mean she's cheating, but it does mean this situation needs clearer lines. This blow-up wasn't really about the gift, though. She wanted reassurance, you went neutral/logical, and it landed as distance. Still, ignoring you and saying, you can't change, isn't fair or productive. Give her space, but don't chase. When you talk, it should be about boundaries and communication, not you just apologizing to keep the peace. How can I, F22, help my fiancé, M25, understand my method to moving out? For context, I, F22, have been engaged to my fiancé, M25, for a while. We're planning to get married in 2 months. I am fresh out of college and still live at home with family. He lives down the road in an apartment. Due to my personal beliefs, I don't want to move in with a man until I am married to him. I kind of just want to ride it out for 2 more months and then marry and move in. Lately, it has come to a point where my family is not the most supportive of the marriage. Because of this, my fiancé is pushing me to move out this week with him. I am not entirely against this idea, but I told him I think I would at least need a bit more time to realistically get my finances in order, get my car signed to my name, etc. He is telling me that none of that matters, and I should just get everything ready to move out all in one day. My family is also starting to become unbearable. Last night, I overheard a conversation between my mother and my sister where my mom asked my sister to convince me to not get married to him, for her because he is controlling me. It broke my heart to hear that. In a rage, I didn't think before acting. I told my fiancé what I had heard. He was devastated, understandably. I definitely should not have told him, I feel like. He immediately said that this is now a situation where I need to decide if I choose him or my family, and that he thinks that if I stay with my family for the remaining 2 months before the wedding, I am choosing them over him. All I want is to marry this man, but since the engagement, there has been nothing but drama in my family. I feel stuck. I want to move out, but I feel as though I will also end up damaging the relationships I have with my family. What are some ways to navigate this in the most peaceful way possible? So he responded to the comment that he is controlling you by controlling you. Your family is likely right. Ditch the fiancé. From the sound of it, you've never lived independently as an adult, and that's something you need to experience before you go from your parents' home to a partner's. Put the wedding plans on indefinite hold, get your own place, and live independently for at least a year before you get married and move in with someone. You're still very young, and you need to experience adult life on your own so that you don't end up trapped in a bad situation. You should never marry someone you have not lived with for minimal 6 months. It's the biggest mistake to marry, then move in together. Living together first means you get to see how he really is and gives you a chance to exit before marriage if you don't like living with him. His ultimatum, him or your family, is just terrible. It's a red flag that he will try and cut you off from your family and isolate you. This is a sign he is controlling. Don't settle with the wrong guy. Do not settle for someone who forces you to choose him over your family. You're going to get trapped with him. If your fiancé is giving you an ultimatum to choose between him and your family, that's a controlling move. Think very closely before you marry this man. I also think you don't really know someone until you live with them, but that's just my opinion, and I respect where you are coming from. I wish you the best with whatever you decide. Your family is seeing the same red flags as your friends, but you are choosing to ignore them because you lack maturity. 22 is too young to be getting married. You need to devote time to developing your life, making experiences, while trying to find your ideal partner. Listen to your family. Please take a look at this book and see if you recognize anything. It could literally save your life one day.